Thankfully, Speed and everyone in his family were safe, and they even reached the people thing on Sunday. Speed says for anyone who wants to help those impacted by the storm damage, they should donate to local organizations that help with recovery and repair, such as the local Red Cross. In the newsroom, Marlena Lang, WCPO 9 News.
Paris is calling with French V. Fly in comfort on board our next generation A350. No heat, no crowd, no problem. Now is the time to explore iconic sites of the city. In Paris, fall is the new summer. French V brings you the ultimate cure for post-summer blues. Paris. Book now and fly to Paris today.
So we're going to bring in Tim Buckley now. Tim, lots of people have asked how Helene was so strong while so far inland. Even with the forecast, it seems the storm's strength shocked people.
Chad, it is hard to understand. It's certainly not what we think about when we think of hurricanes. We think of them as coastal storms, which they are. It's not the first time one has come very hard. It probably won't be the last time this see basically this generation. Explain why. There are a couple factors in play. Number one, before the storm even got there, we had what we call a pre-event rainfall. There was this stalled out cold front stationary from the west side, sucking up all this tropical moisture, and so the southern mountains got about 8 to 12 inches of rain before the hurricane even got there. And then once it did, it took the exact perfect track to hit them in the hardest way possible. That's still pressure over to the west. Kind of curve the storm like that. When you're on that side, you get that wind to ride all the way up those extremely tall mountains. So you come up thinking about 5,000 to 6,000 feet in some places. When you take really humid tropical air, you force it to rise up on those mountain peaks. Not only are you making it rain, you're making it rain harder than it would otherwise. This is the way it works. Bring that humid air up, rising, more condensation, more clouds, more rain, more downpours. And truly, that is all of it is such a disaster with about 30 inches of rain, 70, 80 mile per hour gusts on the peaks. There was no chance that this would be epic disaster. All the ingredients that big problems minor factor lasting all the time.
Tonight, the scope of devastation left behind by Hurricane Helene is still being uncovered. Today, weather warnings in Florida Augusta area will help the news conference updating the state's death toll to 25. The winds killed to explode similar level at about 120 in Kentucky County. A 7-year-old boy was born in Washington County. A 50-year-old man in Dublin, and Blackshear Fire Department Assistant Chief Ron Higgins. The governor says he has spoken with President Joe Biden about Portland being a long road to recovery.
My last message to people would be, we will not waver until we can get everything put back together. It may take us a while, but just know this team will work 24/7 to get your power back on, to get roads clear, to get water operating, to make sure that we're getting our state back in. This is obviously going to be a very long recovery, but we will not waver in that recovery.
Tonight, about 500,000 Georgians are still in the dark without power According to Georgia Power, around 5,000 power line poles remain damaged. Better news, most state routes should now be accessible with at least one lane that will help crews to leave across the state.
And according to the Associated Press, at least 132 people lost their lives with fleeing from Florida's coastline all the way to Virginia. This is Brandon Video out of North Carolina, where tonight Governor Boyd says nearly 3,000 calls have been made to report loved ones who are either missing or unaccounted for. 1,000 just in the last few hours. To get an update, it is that 92 search and rescue teams are still out there on missions, and it says that when cell service is restored, that they will, it's not up to authorities to determine actually how many people are missing. And we know that the Asheville area is amongst the hardest hit. The city's mayor describing the devastation tonight.
Bird houses, the same houses going down the river. It's hard to describe the chaos that it feels like a scene, some TV show that I never thought I would have seen myself.
Tonight, FEMA has delivered 1 million liters of water and 600,000 meals to people in North Carolina. By the way, President Joe Biden plans to travel to North Carolina on Wednesday.
Alex Rain, Mayor of Asheville, Esther Manheimer. Thank you so much for being with us tonight, Mayor. What are your most pressing issues right now?
Right now, we're still in crisis mode. We're still in recovery, literally trying to recover, unfortunately, folks that have perished in this tragedy, and also confirm whether or not there are folks that we just simply haven't reached yet that are still in remote areas that are cut off because roads are washed out, bridges are washed out. But our most pressing need after life-saving measures is water. We have our water systems down. We need to be able to bring in drinking water that started happening on a large scale today. And we're going to need to continue that effort because we could see a loss of our water distribution system for possible weeks. So we need to continue to bring in water, drinking water for folks, non-potable water for folks so they can flush the toilets, basic things like that. We also need food. We have a long list of items that you can imagine every household need. We have children, you need baby formula, you need diapers, you need just cleaning supplies, all kinds of things that we need when you have a situation where you have no power, no water, and you just need to make sure that people can get by each day.
Mayor, you described that there's so much need there that we're showing roads that don't exist anymore and breaks in a lot of the infrastructure there. How is the infrastructure, and are you able to get to all those places where people are in need?
So Nashville is in the center of the county, Buncombe County, and a lot of what we're seeing is in the city, but also outside the city. So we're looking at image right now down in our Walmart Village, which is in the city. So we have catastrophic failures of our transportation system throughout the city. So roads washed out, bridges washed out, still places because we have no communication. I can't emphasize this enough. People's cell phones don't work. There's various spots now where people can use the cell phones. So if they're stranded in an area that is not reachable yet because your road is washed out and people are still looking for you, haven't heard from you, we're still in that situation right now. So it is dire. Looking at historic flooding with rivers reached heights that have never on record been reached before. And so we have a lot of total catastrophic loss in our community.
Every single inch of looks like Nashville has been touched in one way or another by this destructive tragedy, really. And we're hearing a lot of frustration from residents, a lot of fear from people down there. In fact, I think NBC's George Solis caught up with somebody who lives down there a little bit earlier. Here's what they have to say.
We don't need somebody, this will be part of the end of it. And it's been 40 years, in fact, I've been there. It's going to be shut down because of that.
And Mayor, I'm sure you're hearing those types of stories over and over and over again when you go out. For long process? I know it's very, very early on, but does it seem like there is aid coming in from the federal government?
Yes, I mean, so let me be clear. First of all, we were cut off from the world. All of the major highways into Asheville weren't pretty good functioning. There were landslides. We now have one open to the south. The governor was here today. The Emergency Operations Center for the state is activated and helping us. We have FEMA on the ground here. The president called me again today and was on the phone. He is going to put in a request to the Congress to fund the rebuilding effort here. He promised me today on the phone that they will not leave us until we are out of this situation. And we're going to need all the help we can get, obviously, for a city like ours, for a county like ours. The rebuilding effort that we're looking at here is beyond any kind of financial aid we could possibly have, which is the point of a congressional support to help rebuild our community. We're going to need that. But right now we have emergency needs. We need resources brought into our community. That's starting to happen on a larger scale today, and we need that to continue to pick up. We have an incredible community. We have an army of volunteers that are ready to distribute any kinds of resources that come into our community. We have all kinds of aid organizations that are activated all day. I'm getting texts and phone calls to my phone of different organizations offering to help, and actively on the ground helping us now. Just need to know where to bring their tractor trailers, where to set up their sites, and folks here that are ready to help distribute it. And let me just say, the people here have been amazing. Our first responders working around the clock. It's really been astonishing to see. It's amazing. We're a strong community, but this is the biggest test we've ever faced.
So much work still to be done. Mayor Van Hackler, there are thoughts with you and all of Asheville tonight. Stay safe and thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media. Citizens Administration offices open tomorrow. The county will also be under alert rating tomorrow starting at 6 a.m. to increase the strain on firefighters and law enforcement. The county says it will begin roads and pickup on Wednesday. This is because of restore power to over 70% of the county state.
Louisville County leaders speaking of recovery and cleanup. Our Dave Stanley was there and joins us from Hayward Hall, where hundreds of crews still have to leave.
Just a few short minutes that we have been here, we have seen dozens of work vehicles coming and going from here to Athens, long certainly some folks that were traveling in from as far as Florida, Kentucky, to come out to restore power. 70% of Greenville County is still without power.
We have teams in the northern part of the county, the central part of the county, and the southern part of the county, and it's organized attack mode.
After Greenville County estimates continue to pick up. County leaders gathered Monday to provide an update for the public.
At the height of the storm, we were about 98% of the county without power. We're down to 72 now, so there is progress. Yes, it's slow and steady, but we want to make sure we keep everyone safe in that process.
That slow and steady process on display for many in Greenville County after knocking hundreds of trees down.
They all need that people up to working to face substations and face power lines. So we're not going to risk it by having that vertical lines that we have to power that we need.
The county EMS and sheriff office are still combined and call volume dropping 60% Sunday to Monday. It has also responded to a large number of crashes at intersections. The sheriff says broken traffic lights as a two-way stop.
We still have the road blocked, and we put power lines down. If we can't get it away, all of our utility workers have done a big job to keep the power on overnight into this morning. Most of our work is done. Just be patient.
And also tonight, that cleanup has approved
Thank you. Duke Energy says it will take days to repair the outages in the upstate, with the goal of most people having their power back on by Friday. At last check in the upstate, around 377,000 people still without power. That's according to Duke Energy's website. While in western North Carolina, more than 184,000 outages are being reported. Duke Energy giving an update this afternoon.
We restored about 50% of the substations that were damaged by the storm. So the team is hard at work on building this infrastructure that really serves as the backbone of our system.
The Electric Cooperative says about 51% of customers remain without power. That's down from a peak of 90% on Friday. As of 5 o'clock this evening, Lawrence Electric says power has been restored to 46% of customers, with 17 of 32 substations back online.
As power crews continue to work to bring the power back on thousands of people remain at the yard. Sean Williams spoke to several people on how they're getting through our electricity job.
And now I'm standing in the middle of the Beaverford neighborhood of Taylor's. Take a quick look around. Right, there isn't much to see because this neighborhood is completely in the dark. It is pitch black out here. However, in the darkness, a lot of people who live here say they have a deeper understanding of some of the smaller things in life, and they know and understand that things could be a lot worse. It's been pretty, rough without power. It's a familiar expression in the last few days. Thousands of families across the region. Place a stranger in her household of 5 in Taylor, with plenty of light bulbs going off, aka bright ideas to pass the time.
On our hard days, actually just talking to each other a little bit more than we normally would, since we're not on our phones. Just being more family oriented, we hang out, and do some things that we haven't done in a while.
And a chance to meet the neighbors.
I have more things this week than I probably would have in the last 10 years.
Across the street, we met Kathleen Fitz.
I'm not a sitter. I sit in my garage, clean the house, just
Her family is also still without power and hot water.
first thing I do is take a hot shower. My husband has a man wife. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this?
And Robert Webster.
People are in Jacob for here at Northern Greenville County. Thank you very much. Appreciate your comeback. You all doing all right down there?
Yes, sir. There's still power outages.
Using the power of radio signals to save lives in the darkness.
We can put signals out there to be, we have these informal nets. We have a net controller taking traffic, people reporting it, but not grocery stores, things like that, for people that others are attempting to find because they're relatives and they don't know what was there. Our colleagues up in North Carolina have a speed run out of Mount Bishop, which is 6,000 feet, and they are also not informal net. The same thing.
All saying we're thankful for life and without power. Instead, wanting us all to pray for those who are dealing with different levels of devastation.
Don't just say I'm praying for you. Talk is cheap. You need to pray. God listens.
So finding a positive and a negative situation, you can stay on top of power because by checking your service providers, outage maps, any other updates that you need about outages or any other updates related to recovery efforts with Green, go to our website, that is WIFF.com. Bobby Taylor from Sean Williams, WIFF.
Thank you, Rashad. Let's turn to our forecast tonight. A dry few days ahead after the rain from Helene. We're looking for good news, especially with the last few days of truly devastating conditions across our area. We've got sunshine in store for us. Not just yet. There will be an opportunity for a few scattered showers as we move on into Tuesday, but for the most part, mainly dry conditions, especially after Tuesday. So looking at the big picture, lives per .14, we did have a few scattered showers earlier this afternoon. Most of that activity has begun to dissipate as we head on into the rest of the overnight. Now, we will likely wake up to some patchy fog across the area tomorrow morning. We might notice the temperatures actually feel a little more pleasant out this evening. That's going to be the case moving on into tomorrow morning. So we've really got a nice night ahead. If you're still without power, this is something in store for us. Most of us are sitting in the low to mid-60s. A few spots, especially south of Greenville, is where we are still seeing the 70s right now. And you might notice we're still missing some of our actual observations. That's why some of those are missing for the time being. But overall conditions, not too bad. We wake up to some patchy fog, temperatures bottoming out in the low to mid-60s. And as we head throughout the afternoon, highs will top out right near 80 degrees. So we'll be on the congestion only continues seeing more sunshine than no way.
North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper and FEMA officials held a briefing this afternoon after getting a first-hand glimpse of Hoboken's devastation. Governor Cooper saying that the entire area is going to require significant resources.
Today, we did an aerial overview to see the damage here in Western North Carolina, and it is extensive and devastating. We know that it's going to require significant resources both in the short term and the long term.
The governor says 92 rescue teams are working on search and rescue, and progress is being made on increasing cell service.
FEMA officials say they have personnel on the ground that are trying to get supplies into the hands of those communities most impacted.
We do have to work through how do we get them to the last mile? How do we get them into people's hands to be able to see one of the distribution centers today or one of the pods that was set up by locals? It's going to take all of us to come together to make sure we understand what the communities are that maybe we haven't gotten to yet, get those resources to them.
She says out of the grounds this way, officials can understand what the needs to bring resources in.
South Carolina state officials gave an update this afternoon on recovery efforts from Helene. Governor Henry McMaster saying progress is being made, but it will take time to keep down trees and power outages.
We've got the whole thing on everybody, don't go out and they're all out at the field now. So we have a great team.
South Carolina Senator Tim Scott was in the upstate today surveying the damage from Hurricane Helene. He joined members of the South Carolina National Guard for an aerial tour. Released a short video of what he saw.
Upstate needs our support, and we will help them.
Scott also thanked first responders helping in the recovery efforts.
2 miles from now, one of the hardest hit areas in western North Carolina. Our boat controls Jeremy Ferris, who's got over a popular tourism destination, Newport Beach. Newport Beach has the wonderful party after the lake and the rising waters of the Spartanburg River came into the area. Flooded the lake, open streets, steel color roads, floodwater was as high as the river was moving to the front. Water has now receded to the cliff of this area, which now begin the entrance to the building statement for this area. Also, trees have fallen down and have since been cut out where there's some conditions to be safe. It's Sky Point over Asheville, Jeremy Harris, WYFM. Time as the floodwaters receded, power was restored. For some, are hearing stories of survivors. Regularly down as floodwaters falling down better just across the street from campus. You see it's insurance to show what we spoke to reports to people they got out, mixes some strangers who continue to purpose.
There are so many stories like this, one more unbelievable than the next. In Biscayne, these 4 roommates were first trapped in their car, and one was almost taken away by the current. The video is quick but terrible.
Open. 4 out-of-state roommates trapped in the car with water rising around them.
The car was filling in with this murky brown water, so I had no way to reach into my dashboard or my glove compartment and grab my window breaker. I couldn't see anything. Nobody could see anything.
It was Friday mid-afternoon when there was so much rain so fast, out-of-state sophomore Avery Taylor realized she needed to get her car to higher ground. Her roommates all with her.
A tree fell down right on top of the car. And we couldn't get back that way, so we were forced to move forward. And my car starts sinking into the car underneath. At this point, the water level is to like the top of the door, and right before you would open the windows. My windows weren't going down, so it's not like we could just, come out through the windows.
Water started coming into the car and fast.
So it takes all of us to push one of the front doors open, push through the one that my car is sinking into, and we almost climb out through this door.
worst was still to come.
And I just remember like the rip current coming from the water was quite rapid. Like it was something you would not imagine. And it squeezed me from underneath my feet.
Thankfully, a group of guys, students, strangers, came running to help.
Everyone is like grabbing onto my left and I don't, go down into the creek, or, go off into the current. Like they're trying to hold on to their left leg, but like I am like sweeping off into the water.
They managed to hang on and all get through the water to higher ground to safety.
But I firmly believe that something very terrible could have happened to me if it wasn't for his randomly coming to save us. And it was just completely unbelievable. It was life changing. It's something I won't forget.
So far, Alex State has only said that classes are canceled this week. As soon as we get more information on that, we will pass it along. Reporting in Charlotte, Shelby for WCNC Charlotte.
All right, thank you so much. More than 120 people are now confirmed dead from Helene, and as many as 600 more are unaccounted for as people begin to dig out across Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, and Tennessee. Helene first cut through Florida with 140-mile-per-hour winds and 15-foot storm surge. About 90% of homes in the town of Keene Beach in Florida's Pitch End are gone. 13 Floridians died. The storm then cut through Georgia, where 500,000 people are still without power. And then we went to the Carolinas. Kathy outage map shows almost the exact path of the storm. Meanwhile, in Lake Bloor, southeast of Asheville, downstream from where the town of Chimney Rock was swept away, it is packed with cold necks, boats, and parts of homes. Much of the damage is concentrated in Asheville, which is still underwater tonight. The White House says more than 3,500 federal response personnel and more than 1,200 search and rescue personnel are deployed. Officials say rebuilding will take years. The city's River Oaks district has been devastated with buildings flooded up to their second stories. Access to food and water is still a challenge, and supplies are being airlifted to those stranded. Further north in Washington County, Tennessee, residents were isolated with nearly every bridge out washed away. Residents spent the afternoon clearing their own way out with the only bridge left. President Joe Biden plans to visit the disaster area Wednesday, saying he does not want to divert resources from response efforts.
Other top stories, we begin with the aftermath of the week. On Friday, the initial death toll after the hurricane rolled through was 28 people. And tonight, at least 130 people are dead across 6 states. And sadly, that number may continue to rise as hundreds of people are still unaccounted for. Here's Sherelle Hubbard.
Police aftermath has been described by some as post-apocalyptic.
Say houses will be gone. So we know that whole rise.
The devastation was beyond belief. And even when you prepare for something like this is something that's never happened before.
The Asheville, North Carolina area is amongst the hardest hit. Hundreds of roads remain closed, especially in the Carolinas. Some had to be emergency out.
Really horrifying. The fact that there's no people there. That's really horrifying.
And hiked 11 miles from landslides and short roads to find his mom and dad.
Was the greatest relief I've had in my life, and just hugging this time has been good, and cold, and then went inside and found my mom and saying,
Yes, sometimes started to trickle in on Monday from field roads or hampering the delivery of bathroom and supplies. The White House pledged to provide both every available resource.
Our nation is
I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
There's a rhythm of marches, the resonant echoes that go to the ground, the current is free from multiple directions, rise and chorus, my name, and if you want to left to listen for
Truck drivers who deliver essential supplies and everyday goods are having a hard time navigating all the road closures in the state.
CBS 13's July Ellis continues our team covers time live on Interstate 70 and their hospital briefings.
That's right. We've actually been hearing from many of those drivers really traveling along this route, and many of them tell me that they had to plan to reroute their travel over the last couple of days. One man even brought out an outage just to say his GPS couldn't get him to where he was trying to go. Roadways covered in mud and debris. Others collapsed and closed off to traffic. Drivers like Joe Copper stopping at a truck stop off of I-40 in Redding, saying they're working around the aftermath from Hurricane Lee.
I got to head over to Tarville, pick up a load of meat, going back to Indiana, and I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. I don't see there's a driver to the truck with his own history. And then the trucks were flooded all the way to the window.
Drivers coming from across the country say it's been challenged, working with delays, reroutes. Some even spending a couple nights in a standstill. The North Carolina Department of Transportation continues to warn drivers of countless road closures not to travel in the eastern part of the state. The agency says I-40 remains impassable in multiple locations.
I got to go like 70 miles out of the way to come around. And it also held me up on the slow. I got some hours to
John Proctor, traveling on I-40 from Oklahoma City, says a lot of deliveries are already behind schedule. Drivers unsure how long some closures will last.
drivers that can see this is their area and stuff, I'm not imagine it's going to be pretty rough on that. This storm was just a mess.
I also reached out to the U.S. Postal Service. They tell me they continue to look at the impact from Hurricane Lee. In fact, they said that they're looking to evaluate the operations and hope to restore a swift delivery as soon as possible.
Something really not happening now. This plan to bring tonight with a trailer construction. This storm left behind. And the latest video from Western North Carolina, one areas with construction beginning. We'll talk about helping and how you can help me.
Yeah, the first time I know we talked for days about how those mountain towns will be hit pretty hard. So why don't you show us why?
Okay, so we talked about that last Wednesday and Thursday. Rapids, East Tennessee. So they were going to get a lot of rain no matter what. A lot of people. You get word rapid. Also, the other problem is we talked about when you get the rain, there's no way for them to circulate. Now, it all runs off. So Asheville in a 24-hour period picked up 14 inches of rain. That's 31% annual rainfall. And now they might be another. Photographic visiting.
Days after the storm ripped its way through Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas, and 130 people died. The recovery process is taking slow, and so that's a really
President Biden says he will visit North Carolina Wednesday to survey the damage. Tonight, rescue teams from our area are already there going to and help. Members of the Task Force 1 are in Carolina. Virginia's Transportation Department is sending a team as well with equipment. They'll be helping out for at least 2 weeks.
And Maryland Task Force 1 has also been reassigned to North Carolina. They arrived near Asheville today, one of the hardest areas. Those experts are from Montgomery, Prince George's, and Howard counties, as well as D.C. Montgomery County Fire Chief Corey Smedley shared this update about another local crew working alongside them.
We also have reports from Maryland Park Team, which was a helicopter deployment rescue team there in action, working the helicopter to pull people out before they were already rescued a couple of rescues.
And then you've got the World Center. They're on the ground in North Carolina and Georgia and in Florida. The organization is based here in D.C. It's led by Senator Jeff Sessions. And today he posted this update on his way to Asheville, highlighting members of the Army, the National Guard, and FEMA who are also
So we need to look for ways to make an impact. Right now, the best way is like no reason money. Travel there now.
the impact of the week continues to linger, so our efforts to help families in need use the situation to be sure that they're tracking good news for us tonight. She also joins us live. We're telling you, of course, that what will get into the ground these shares in the hands of those that need it.
That's right, Colin. We heard Vanessa mention a lot about the need. A lot of folks still without power, still without service, and even water due to contamination. So community leaders coming together to provide some relief. Families work to clear the pathways of damage left by the lead. Community leaders also working to ease stress and limit what we can.
That's it. Whole lot of water.
Charlotte area breweries like Noda Brewing Company and Birdsong coming together, packing and shipping drinking water to Western North Carolina.
It's not as simple as just turning on a tap and throwing that water into cans. It needs to be potable for people to drink. So we are improving similar to how we do it, just for the wildest ingredients.
Operation North State also stepping in to help, starting the hurricane relief collection drive over the next 8 days.
They need everything. Total devastation out there. Our goal is to collect 12 tractor-trailer loads here.
Nonprofit Operation Airdrop also working to get much-needed supplies to mountain counties. Collaborative effort they're hoping will impact the lives of many.
Let's get out here. Let's fill these trailers up.
Now, there is a list available for folks who are looking to donate, some of the priorities being water and baby essentials, baby diapers, baby wipes. You can log on to WCNC.com if you'd like a list for donations for drop-offs. Reporting live and uptown, Trish Wood, WCNC Charlotte.
Everybody, thanks for tuning in to Middle Tennessee's only prime-time newscast. I'm Scott Couch.
I'm Megan Halloran. We start tonight with shocking new video of Hurricane Helene's aftermath. Take a look at this video. Out of Raleigh, North Carolina, it shows pieces of homes and businesses destroyed. Debris washing down the river, just dumped into Lake Lure. The lake is filled with broken power lines and empty homes.
That is a mess. Now, so far, Helene is being blamed for the deaths of at least 128 people in 6 states. 6, I should say, at least 3 in Tennessee. North Carolina has the most deaths, 56. South Carolina and Georgia have more than 2 dozen each. There are 11 deaths confirmed in Florida. Tennessee and Virginia still in the single digits.
Well, the number of people missing because of Helene also extreme right now. Neighbors say at least 600 people across all states are missing because of Hurricane Helene. In North Carolina, the governor says no official number for how many people are unaccounted for as of today. He emphasized search and rescue teams are still out on missions, and once cell service is restored, it will be easier to determine how many people are still missing. Hundreds of roads are closed in North Carolina. People say more than 1,000 people across the state are staying in shelters. Well, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris say they plan to visit the region and it won't disrupt emergency response efforts. Former President Donald Trump was in Georgia today, hoping to pass out supplies in a community where Helene destroyed homes and businesses.
As we come on the air tonight, Hurricane Helene leaving several communities unrecognizable tonight as the death toll continues to rise. Brian Smith joins us at the line as the hardest hit areas ramping up search and rescue efforts right now as hundreds are still unaccounted for.
And at this hour tonight, at least 120 people dead across 6 states, and that number will only likely grow. Up to 600 people still reported missing tonight. In Tennessee alone, rescue crews are searching for more than 150 people. Dozens of them were told from a small community in Coy County to see what floods they're trapping several workers at this plastics plant. Many desperately called to their family members for urgent help.
She was saying they were inside the factory and she was on top of the trailer. Saying goodbye and telling us to call 911 and pray for her.
Out of North Carolina tonight, more than 2,900 reports of family members not able to keep contact with their loved ones. Cell service still out for many there, so it is impossible right now to know the exact number. This people. Other states are stepping in to help, though. The Maryland National Guard, you see it here, rescuing dozens of people since this weekend, including 2 children and a baby. We're told search and rescue missions in several states will continue throughout the night.
We're moving, but we're moving at a speed that's safe. Topography is already working because of this steep terrain, and you add on the mud, the rain, the water. It's
So many dangerous elements out here right now. Officials say that danger is not over yet. Rivers are still rising out there, leaving several communities isolated, cut off from life-sustaining supplies of food, water, and of course, urgent medical care.
And President Biden will travel to North Carolina on Wednesday for a first-hand look at the devastation left behind by Helene. He'll attend a briefing and aerial survey of Asheville, which is still dealing with flooding fallout. Biden told reporters earlier today that he planned to stay out of the way until it was clear his visit would not hinder recovery efforts.
I'm committed to traveling as soon as possible. But I've been told that with the disruption that's right now, we will not do that to risk diverting land and any response access needed in this crisis.
President Biden has pledged several government resources to the disaster. FEMA's director is already in Asheville for the recovery effort. The death toll from Hurricane Helene is at least 128, and it is climbing, making it among the deadliest hurricanes to strike the mainland U.S. in the past 50 years. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 tops that list with over 1,800 deaths from the storm and flooding. Hurricane Ian 2 years ago caused 150 direct and indirect deaths. 120 plus puts Helene third on the list, surpassing Hurricane Irma in 2016, which killed 92. Hurricane Harvey killed roughly 68 people. We will have much more coverage on the damage Hurricane Helene left behind throughout our newscast. To stay up to date on this historic disaster 24/7, you can also visit thenaturaldeaths.com.
Former Phoenix State Peg Jones says Helene was the worst storm she's seen since she moved to South Carolina from Plymouth in 2019.
I haven't seen anything like that before, and we had ice storms and stuff, nothing like this.
Friday night, Jones says she hunkered down at her home in Warren, South Carolina, bracing for the storm.
My son and I and the dog were just about 8 and 8:30, crash happened, and
That crash was the sound of a tree landing on her roof. Jones says she and her family made it through the night, but she couldn't believe what she saw when the sun came up.
Church was the war zone.
Jones says she's still without power and she can't get a hold of anyone to remove the tree from her house.
It was the day after the storm.
Volunteers from the Granite State are heading south to help local crews overwhelmed by the destruction. North Carolina was slammed by the storm and FEMA called in mutual aid from New England.
I came up with one last storm as
Concord Fire Battalion Chief Derek Kelleher is used to leading the swift water rescues back home. He deployed to North Carolina as part of a FEMA relief effort, leading the successful rescue of 2 people. For WNUR, it's Bella Truss reporting.
The death toll from Hurricane Helene is at least 107, climbing, making it one of the deadliest hurricanes to strike the Midland U.S. in the last 50 years. Hurricane Katrina in 2005 tops that list with at least 1,833 fatalities from the storm and flooding. Hurricane Ian 2 years ago caused 150 direct and indirect deaths. 100 plus puts Helene third on the list, surpassing Hurricane Irma in 2017, which killed 92. Hurricane Harvey killed roughly 60 people. It was only the mainland U.S. hurricanes, excluding storms that have hit Puerto Rico.
There's nothing more powerful than you. Making your day happen. I'm really trying for it. Doing business on the Lord's purpose. Getting in here all. Making a difference. And loving it. Unprecedented nightmare grows by the hour.
You know, I'm prepared. You know, it is hard. So a lot of it.
Rosa with a smile.
Countless people are missing. Even more are without power or steady supply of water.
another 3 to 4 or 5 days. Deal with that now.
People out west are locked off from the rest of the United States. In Black Mountain, dozens of scientists sheep to say they're safe, hoping to get its loved ones.
Parts of our state are unrecognizable tonight. A blaze of relief efforts are underway and will continue for weeks.
An overwhelming disaster matched with a relentless push to help. Tonight, WFY News 2.
The phone lines have been busy today. We are partnering with the Red Cross to get help to people facing a disaster with no end in sight. Your hard help us raise nearly $20,000 to help us for the people.
If you look at the bottom of the screen, see the number to call. You'll also see a QR code. If you scan that with your phone, it will take you to a link where you can also donate.
But first, we have got some new information tonight about the aftermath of the storm. The state has now confirmed at least 34 killed.
Governor Cuomo says that number is expected to rise. 42 people have critical injuries, including 4 babies. Many people are unaccounted for as well. Help has surged to our state from all over. About 20 states have sent in help, along with more than a dozen teams from the federal government as well as teams from Canada. We've also just learned that President Joe Biden will be in Asheville on Wednesday.
Help from the Triad deployed before the storm even hit. Aid from our area has grown in the days since. A Winston-Salem search and rescue team is out west. Some of their members found an American flag. Construction full tight.
We have team coverage tonight scattered across the high country as well as the North Carolina mountains, from the construction to ongoing search efforts and the steady flow of support coming in from around the country. We have got you covered.
And we begin our coverage with WFY's Sandy Rivera, who is in Asheville tonight, where search and rescue teams have been searching for countless people who are missing. Sandy, they have a tall task ahead of them.
So this is the airport. This is the main staging area for all supplies in western North Carolina. And why is that? Because 300 plus roads are just not passable. So the way you get supplies is by air. We've got the FEMA trailers behind us right here, and they're holding plenty of supplies for this part of western North Carolina. And they're playing a part in this. And I say a part because local leaders right here in Buncombe County are asking, hey, where are the supplies? You see, Governor Cooper, he toured this whole area by air earlier today, and he saw what he says was extensive and devastating damage. Those are the words that he used. And he talked about the difficulty of reaching this part of North Carolina because of all of the infrastructure issues and the need for supplies. But I gotta tell you today, the Buncombe County manager in their daily briefing said in no uncertain terms, she wanted to ask him, hey, we need a better response from state leaders.
The message that people say that we're asking for water and we just get water and it's in low quantities because we're already here and people like to see a different response from our state partners, a better response from the state partners.
And when it comes to infrastructure, XCDOT has about 1,600 employees on the ground here, plus they've contracted out with about 100 or so contractors, and they're bringing people from other states as well to build temporary bridges so that they can actually connect those people who are in those cut-off areas. With that in mind, I want to turn it over now to Amber Lake. She's in Lake Lure, where people are being urged to simply leave if they can.
So Tanya, obviously this damage is widespread. We wanted to come out to Rutherford County today to see some of that damage. We ended up in Rutherford town just because this is the only place that seems to have power. The library has Wi-Fi, Town Hall has Wi-Fi for people that need it. I just spoke with Domino's Pizza behind me. They said that power was finally restored late last night. So they have all of the workers in there today. They had to throw away over $5,000 worth of food whenever this situation happened. But they're in there today making food for people who are able to come and pick it up. Some of those places that they're not able to deliver pieces to and actually make a trip out to include Lake Lure. A lot of those people are stuck because of the severe damage that they experienced. So law enforcement told us actually today that if you don't live there, you're not allowed in. You have to show proof of residence to even come to town at all. That's because the damage is so bad. Officials have asked that no one come to town unless you live there. And if you're able to leave, you need to do so. Because of this, one neighbor decided to bring supplies back to her community. Her family was able to evacuate after the Lake River Dam was compromised, but quickly returned to help. Yes,
Amen. We want it to rise up. You know, we want it to come back and still be here and be intact. No better place to pour it than right here.
Other places around the county have seen a lot of damage since Hurricane Helene rolled through. Down trees, covered the roadways. We also drove up a bridge that was completely wiped out. The town says cell and internet access is improving, but it's still going to be a long time before it is fully restored. There's also a shelter set up here in Rutherford County at the Rutherford 10 Spindale Central High School. That's for anyone who is living live in Rutherford County today. And get Hawaii News too.
So what we're hearing when it comes to infrastructure and when it comes to roads is something very different. I-40 East from Asheville, they say, is now open so that people can, in fact, be able to get out and get to the eastern part of our state. This is something that they said when the governor was touching down. He said I-40 West coming into Asheville from like Greensboro, Winston-Salem is expected to possibly open tomorrow, but for sure would open by mid to late week. Again, just like in the site Steelers Field, but that certainly could with that whole supply situation. Of course, the southwest part of North Carolina is dealing with all this devastation. So is the northwest part as well. That's where we find Taylor Leverett, who is in Blowing Rock.
Yes, we are here in Blowing Rock. We actually covered here because the rain started to come down. We're on Valley Boulevard Road, one of the main roads to get into Blowing Rock. And, you know, we were up in the mountain all day today, kind of surveying some of the damage. And, you know, like you guys were saying, a lot of down trees, a lot of down power lines, but also a lot of resilient neighbors. Take a look at the video on your screen there. That is actually a road that we stumbled upon, Valley View Road. It actually was a two-lane road, so two cars could be on that road at the same time, but as you can see, half of it is broken off. It just tumbled, not able to withstand those high winds and strong rain from Hurricane Helene. We spoke to a neighbor who talked about how devastating it was just seeing that, you know, going up to his house, he could no longer, his neighbors and friends could no longer visit him. I mean, take a listen.
I was just personally devastated, you know, knowing that this is going to be a long-term process to get repaired. And the paying laws that are going to need to be done there are going to be expensive.
Now that video that you see now is from another neighbor who spoke to Ken Lowry. His yard said it was tumbled with rain. That's that video there. Look at all of that water just coming down like a waterfall. He said it just poured down his yard. He said the most unsettling part of all of this is not being able to communicate with the sun.
Work support of it. Calls and discussion. There isn't much election. It's a long period of time. That's a election.
And those neighbors say now the healing and rebuilding starts. You know, a lot of times, you know, we talk to people up here in the mountain, they say there are all of the elements that come with you know, the risk of living up in the mountains, but nothing like they've seen with Hurricane Helene, wagon blowing around on scale, there'll be a more.
And what Taylor said really hits home. I mean, folks want to know, like the governor came here to Asheville today, and you just heard President Biden is coming to Asheville on Wednesday. But what folks really want to know is that their loved one, who they have not been able to connect with, is safe somewhere. Connectivity is really the challenge here.
Thank you, Mayor. The Tennessee border Helene forces ice out of hot springs to really just splinter and crumble. Giant chunks of road and buildings have disappeared there, exposing pipes and wires. Inside of the shop will need to be gutted every side of the street. Floodwater still covering many streets there. Damage and debris have created waterfalls where roads used to be. We have seen devastating images from across the western part of our state, including 10%.
That's what we find. Nixon Norman, she spent the day talking to those cleaning up.
The area here in Hendersonville is one of the only things open up for miles. Sure, most days they serve burgers and fries, but here in the community that was recently hit hard by the theme, well now, they're serving up hope. Winston-Salem native and Wake Forest men's basketball Hall of Famer Rusty LaRue has handed out over 20,000 water bottles to those who need it most in Henderson County. The county is dealing with a severe lack of water right now. Some people are desperately looking to get their hands on things like baby wipes to clean themselves and bags of ice to eventually drink. The area secured all that water through Pepsi and thought it was only right to pay it forward to the community facing hard times right now.
You know, a lot of these people on well water with pumps and they're powered now. They can't get water. So we're right across from East Tennessee High School. They ran out of water earlier today, right about the time we were going. So just extremely grateful. We're hoping so they can get a little bit of normalcy and a hot deal for some of them that hadn't gotten in a couple of days. To us, it's going to fill it in. And then I think as a company, just when you see it in people's homes, the devastation is just hard enough.
The mayor of Hendersonville issued a state of emergency for the entire city and a curfew from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. In Hendersonville, Dixon Norman, WFY News 2. Like so many groups across the state, we are partnering with the American Red Cross to get help to those who need it most. Let's check in now with our shelter leaders and volunteers who take your calls and
You know, it's a big phone ringing off the phone. We're so excited about this. I want to quickly get to about the people who choose one chair. They're the Red Cross and but it's every time you guys respond with something like this, people really reach out and get back. You're hearing high level of excellent people who really appreciate that. A lot of emotion on the calls. Everybody knows somebody up there or lives up there or school up there. So it's wonderful to see try to yeah, we were saying, you know, not just $20 donation to somebody in much oh, it's it's so important. I want to thank you. We're still here until 6:30. Even after that, I'm recording. You'll definitely guide you where you continue. So thank you so much. We've got 2 more minutes of this phone. Eric, thank you. And that is just one of the many ways you can help people navigate this disaster. If you go to WFNYNews2.com, you'll find this web story. It has a comprehensive list of places accepting donations or taking in supplies. Every little bit helps. And of course, we continue to do so. It's been so top of mind. Right now, we're still dealing with a couple of down here pushing they aren't still but you know, moving on. Most of us feel the kind of responsibility that morning that shouldn't be going on. Some showers pushing on into County, picking up equipment so we will have the forecast going through the rest of the week. Take a look at the tropics. I want to clear something up about some misinformation.
When I started drinking warm water from my blood sugar, my friends laughed at me. But when they saw my baby sugar readings plummeting, they started to think themselves. You've probably heard that once you have high blood sugar, life will never be the same. You'll have to accept it's harder to lose
the extra pounds around your waist, the stress of constant monitoring, fingerprinting, and overwhelming weight of tiredness all the time. But what if I told you that's not true at all? What if I told you that there's a simple drink you can make at home and help balance blood sugar levels in weeks without taking expensive meds or missing out on your daily routine? Sounds too good to be true, right? That's what I thought too until I saw my auntie at a family party. She looked amazing, so different from when I last met her, and she just found out she had basic. I asked her what the secret was, and she told me about this bedtime brew that she'd seen on TV. She said it was a simple every night it was a new that she found at her local grocery store. She said it apparently cleared some sort of blockage that had built up and stopped sugar from being able to be drained out of her body. She said it was easy to do, and it only took 10 seconds.
Okay, this is becoming a pattern at this point. Every single time I find a truck that I want, or possible again, and after 5 seconds of research, I find out the United States government is directly responsible. Cars Act, aka Cash for Clunkers. Okay, I'm already upset, so here's how we got here. I had originally wanted it away with a chain. It's like this $15,000 super cheap Toyota truck that you can buy just go to truck stuff. Okay, it's very cheap. It does what it's supposed to do. It's what I want. So I hopped on Google and was like, hey, when are these going to give me these in America? Because I'm going to buy one. Oh, turns out they're not giving me these in America. Why not? The same reason I can't get the Toyota Hilux, the other truck that I wanted, literally forever. And it's because in the 1960s, Germany was buying too much American poultry, so they put a tariff on American chickens, for which the American president, Lyndon B. Johnson, got upset. So he retaliated by putting a tariff on small cargo vehicles, aka small trucks. This is referred to as the chicken tax. I did a whole video. Okay, but the abbreviated version is I don't get to buy the truck I want because of Lyndon B. Johnson and chickens 80 years ago. So I'm like, okay, you know what, it's fine. There's other trucks in the world. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm just gonna pick another cool truck. Maybe I'll just get an older American truck. It's already here. It'll be cheap. It'll be great. And right away, I knew exactly what truck I wanted. I wanted the truck that was new when I was a kid. I was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. Because that truck was new when I was a kid. So it's gonna be new to me for the rest of my life. It's just gonna feel that way regardless of how old it gets. And that truck to me is a 4th gen GMC, specifically the Chevy version, the K1500.
Billy,
That's
oh, you want this watch?
yeah.
I don't know what it is. Whatever.
Thanks.
Whatever.
This video is brought to you by a super straightforward business. You make that money, they turn around and they make sure the data brokers on the internet are not selling you personal information. Some people are pretty much trying to go on the internet and fill out personal information and check a little box that says I agree with terms of service. Those terms more than likely mean that they're collecting personal data, they turn around and sell that data to data brokers, and then the data brokers sell it to the web. The good news is data brokers are legally required to give you information. Stop selling it, you can ask them to. The hard part is figuring out which data brokers have it. Filling out all the paperwork to get them to stop selling it. And that's where the legal comes in. Once you're using the service, they go through, they check all the data brokers for your personal information, and then they have it, they go ahead and they fill out all the paperwork and have that information taken down automatically. After that, they can keep checking all these data brokers in case they somehow acquire your information again and start selling it again to make sure that doesn't happen. So privacy sounds pretty cool. You can go ahead and check out the link. I'll have a link and a discount code down below. Let's get back to the video. Sorry, it's for a K1500 borderline possible. And I finally tracked one. It's at a car dealership. It's mint. It's got like 25,000 miles. It's perfect. It's spotless. I want it. Problem, it's like almost $30,000 for a 1998 K1500. It's like, call the dealership. The fuck? Is it like drag cars and a different engine in it? What is going on with this truck? Like, no, it's completely stock K1500, 25,000 miles, perfect condition. We want it. Why? The owner of the dealership is like, well, the government crushed all of it, so you're never going to find this truck in different condition. So naturally, I did what I always do. I went home, started looking into it, went down the rabbit hole. Here's what happened. It all started in 2008 when the American housing market crashed. How did the housing market crash? Well, it was taken up because the American government decided, hey, owning a home is part of the American dream. More people should own homes. You know what we should do? We should go put a bunch of pressure on U.S. banks and get loans for people that they can't afford homes and just do it anyways. This is called a subprime mortgage, and the banks are getting on a ton of different figures. 2008 rolls around, all the people that bought houses they could afford, the foreclosures on, ruins the entire housing market, the entire U.S. economy crashes. And when the economy crashes, people don't have a lot of extra money. And when people don't have a lot of extra money, guess what they're not doing? Buying brand new cars. But it's okay. We're living in a capitalist society, and what happens when the supply remains the same and demand going to help.
I'm from the government, and I'm here to help.
Something like the government comes out with the cars and aka cash reporters, and they're going to try to prop up the automotive industry as a way to stimulate the economy. And then, as a little side quest, they're also going to try to save the environment at the same time. So the government allocates $3 billion to this program, and $3 billion is going to be spent over paying for these cars. So how this works is anybody that's going to buy a new car like Prius or a Camry or a Civic, you trade in an old car, and the government is going to be willing to subsidize paying you $3,500 to $4,500, even if that's way more than your car is actually worth. The only stipulations are the car has to be on it, has to be a good, reliable vehicle, it has to be 18 miles to the gallon or less, and it has to be registered to you for at least a year. So basically, the government is only interested in buying perfectly good used cars in running condition, and $3 billion divided by somewhere between 3,500 and 4,500 per car ends up being about 700,000 cars that the United States government gets their hands on, which raises the question: what is the United States government going to do with 700,000 perfectly good running cars? And I'm not very bright on this spitball. Here's what I would do: I would maybe auction off 700,000 cars, so 700,000 Americans would get a good deal on a run reliable vehicles participate in the economy to help prop on the economy. The U.S. government just crashed, but we got to remember the big picture, right? Because the U.S. government also is trying to save the environment. These 700,000 cars get less than 80 miles per gallon, so there's only one thing we can do: we got to fucking destroy it. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. The second the car gets traded into a dealership, that dealership is legally required to drain all the oil out of the engine, pour a specialty chemical inside of it, put it in the car, and have a can, pull the gas pedal down, until that specialty chemical turns into glass in the engine and blows up the entire thing, and then they're going to crush it and turn it into garbage. You know, it's not going to smoke in the environment right before we save it.
Shut up, all right?
The throne is vacant.
Yeah, I'm still like in awe at this point at how horrible this idea is. There's so many layers of stupidity compounded within itself. I don't even know how to continue the video. The government is looking at this instead of everything they touch to gold, it just turns to shit. So I guess we'll just make sure that we're all on the same page at this point, okay? In 2008, the United States government is responsible for crashing the U.S. economy, and in 2009, in order to fix it, they said, hey, you know what we should do? Let's take $3 billion that we've extracted from the people whose lives are already suffering. We're going to pay them $2 billion. We're going to use it to have a fucking used car genocide where we destroy 700,000 perfectly operational vehicles. And you're never going to guess which vehicle cracked the top 10 for the most crushed by the U.S. government. That's right, the Chevy K1500. You know what, actually, it's fine. I'm sure this will be well worth it, and I'm sure we can save the environment. This is really cheap stats. According to the University of Michigan, the average miles per gallon of the average American vehicle went up a total of 0.7 miles per gallon. But how much should actually save the environment, right? I mean, that's what actually matters. How much CO2 can you let go like gas, right? The CARS program measured 4.4 billion metric tons of CO2 per gas. That's probably a good thing, right? That accounts for approximately 0.4%. Okay, look, I'm not a super intelligent guy. I'm wearing a camouflage hat and tank top and living on the okay, but here's one. I feel like every vehicle manufacturer has what I would describe as a fossil fuel overhead, okay? Because the manufacturing plant where the car is made, it's got to have power. You get that by burning coal or fossil fuels, right? So somebody goes there, and all the workers have to drive their cars to the manufacturing plant to be able to build it. Their cars burn fossil fuels. And then, if the manufacturing plant is out in Japan, where they manufacture the Prius, the Civic, and the Camry, the most sold cars under the cash rewards program, you gotta ship the car across the fucking ocean using fossil fuels to get it here, okay? Maybe destroying all those cars prematurely before you squeezed all the life out of them wasn't worth the 0.4% you saved on emissions overall. Oh, yeah, well, at least the United States government propped up the auto industry, because without those sales, you probably would have had to lay off a bunch of American auto workers. But if you listen to what I just said, the top 3 cars sold during the cash rewards program were the Honda Civic, the Toyota Prius, and the Toyota Camry. Okay, most of those are made over in Japan. There's a couple that are made here in America, workers will actually make America. So essentially what you've done is take $3 billion from the American taxpayers and give it to foreign auto manufacturers. Secondly, the ones following the Cash for Workers program, there were way less car sales than there should have been according to previous year's data, meaning Cash for Workers didn't increase the number of car sales, they just moved them from one month to another. So since we weren't actually any more cars sold during Cash for Workers, that means that the U.S. is now down 700,000 cars, right? And what happens when supply grows and demand remains the same? That's right, prices go up. Prices are on average $2,000 cash for workers. This is the worst. So essentially, the American government is taking $2 billion, giving it to foreign auto manufacturers, and they can subsidize rich people buying new Priuses while poor people have to pay $2,000 more for their diesel car. Okay, great job. There you go. But wait, it gets even worse because a lot of the people that bought new cars during Cash for Workers shouldn't have bought new cars. They were just overly incentivized to do it because the government was subsidizing it. Right with the car. According to CW research, buyers that bought during Cash for Workers experienced 2 times the possession rate and 5 times the amount of buyer's remorse.
It's like the big fat spending money doesn't have them. It doesn't mean, you want more? What the fuck are doing that?
Yeah, come on. Just so we're all the same. In the years leading up to the housing market crash, the United States government put pressure on banks to sell homes to people that couldn't afford homes. And in 2008, they all got foreclosed on, aka they got repossessed, and then it crashed the entire economy. And like 6 months later, the United States government's like, great loss, I know how to fix this, guys. So we're going to go to car dealerships, and we're going to put pressure on them, we're going to incentivize them, we're going to subsidize them, whatever word you want to use. We're going to convince people who can't afford new cars to buy new cars, and then we're all going to get repossessed. Okay, it's brilliant. I'm taking a math class. If you do the same thing, cancel each other out, it's going to get us out of this mess. Tell me, get Cash for Workers save the environment. No, not really. Barely any of us did. And if anything, probably hurt it more by destroying the business. But it did at least save a bunch of American jobs. Granted, it saved 4 Japanese jobs in American jobs. But hey, life is all about the silver lining, right? We did, and minimum, get to keep the poor people in check because we got to take their money in taxes and then use those taxes to force them to pay $2,000 more for a used car, which back in 2009 was for like $3,500, but you know, whatever. Anyway, workshop. Thanks for watching. Best ways for James. Go back to showfetalnutrition.com. Quack bang out. I legitimately think politicians are stupid or evil. It's probably This episode shout out to the Big Mike's Little Donuts outside of Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Armies of the Bubba Farrell 12-gauge shotguns in World War I, where it was standard issue, as well as World War II and Korea. Then in Vietnam, they tried to quit making the standard issue because it wasn't lethal enough, at which point it became standard practice for most guards to actually bring their own personal shotguns home and use that instead. Because, well, when the bushes start talking, you might as well hit all the bushes at once. If you don't know what I mean by that, okay, shotguns don't shoot bullets, they shoot shells. As long as you're trying to shell, which today we're talking about double auto shot, which is this right here. It's basically 9 ball bearings that were fired and they go fucking everywhere. It's like having 9 guys with muskets firing all at once. As you can imagine, having a ball bearing cannon would be extremely effective in close quarters. That's why they were originally issued in World War I, because World War I was primarily fought inside of trenches, which was an extremely narrow pathway around. Now, World War I was also extremely narrow because it was the first time the bad guys had ever brought things like flamethrowers and mustard gas to the world stage. Now, it's also worth mentioning that World War I started in 1914, but America didn't officially get involved until 1917. Because, well, the number 1 seed in the tournament bracket always gets a bye in the first round. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Winchester Model 1897 12-gauge shotgun, and it's more from consigliere in the Model 1917 bayonet, which apparently had a fucking Danny Trejo design. Now, this particular shotgun is very special because it's only the second pump-action shotgun ever made, and it did not incorporate a safety feature that is known as a trigger disconnect. Now, a trigger disconnect is what makes it so you have to pull the trigger every time you fire the shotgun. Since this particular shotgun is like that, you can just hold the trigger down, and every time you pump it, it fires. Meaning that you can fire all 6 shells in a matter of seconds. Now, if you're not thinking about our put down, I'm telling you that the United States government gave a bunch of 18-year-old young men let's just say it was pretty fucking effective. Now, that is a technique called slam fire, and when you combine the kurds with a gun that can do that, it immediately earned nicknames like the trench sleeper, the trench burn. This thing uncovered engineered some of the bad guys, they had to claim it was a war crime to use a shotgun. These are the same bad guys that were using flamethrowers and chemical warfare, so we just kept using. And that's when the bad guys started a propaganda campaign claiming that the Americans were barbaric and unskilled with a rifle, and that's why they would use such weapons. As that war, they claimed that if they fought any Americans, that they shot down or shotgun shells, they would be executed. Which the American government basically responded with, if. Now, just for clarification, it is not and never has been a war crime to use a shotgun. But that is also exclusively because the side of America was on war. And the bad guys that want to almost certainly make it a war crime, because it's only a war crime if you do this. In conclusion, if you ever go toe-to-toe with an American or a war crime stick, he's probably going to have a look in his eye like, I'm turning to beef jerky and slam fire with this shotgun. And if he doesn't have beef jerky, you're probably going to be in trouble. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. We have 4 new designs on our shirts and stickers, as well as some shirts and printed sizes now available. And this link, and I'm on TikTok, that links in the video description. Until next time, thanks for service. Bye, hang out.
Guns are loud. They've been loud ever since the 1400s. And after 500 years of guns being really loud, H.P. Maxim developed firearm silencer while he was working on automobile mufflers. Both inventions work exactly the same way. This can captures the expanded gases. Interior baffles slow them down so that they leave the muzzle much more gently, quietly. Well, not much more quietly. Even though I have a modern efficient jam on here, I still have to wear hearing protection. The only reason that we call this a silencer is because that's what's on the 1916 patent. That's the dot. So, even though I still have to wear hearing protection, there's less recoil, there's less blast, it's much quieter for the neighbors. Why doesn't everybody have suppressors? Well, the answer is there's significant legal hurdles that you have to jump if you want one. First of all, you have to fill out a significant amount of paperwork, provide the ATF with your photos, with your fingerprints, and then buy a $200 tax stamp. And then you can't even have your suppressor until the ATF has processed all of that paperwork, added you to a large national gun registry, and that usually takes them somewhere between 6 months to a year. At that point, it's easier to just move to New Zealand, France, or Norway, or any of the countries that treat suppressors as if they're just a normal over-the-counter item. Most European nations have far, far looser suppressor restrictions than we do here in the United States, even though they have extremely tight firearm restrictions. Which begs the question, how did we, freedom-loving Americans, allow this little metal tube to have exactly the same regulations as a machine gun? Let's go back to 1916, when General John Thompson began developing a small handheld machine gun for soldiers who were engaged in the brutal trench warfare of World War I. And by 1921, when this company, Auto Ordnance, finally put the Thompson submachine gun into production, World War I was over. The finished product cost $200, which was outrageously expensive at the time. For context, pump-action shotguns and lever-action rifles cost $20 to $30, so it was very hard for them to find buyers outside of Hollywood.
Hey, Johnny, look what I got. Look at that. Gathering around like a pig.
The Tommy gun ubiquitous on the silver screen. Gangster movies ruled the box office. The Chicago typewriter ruled gangsters.
Johnny, one thing that gets on it and gets on it. That's the name.
In almost every film, cops and crooks engaged in long, drawn-out machine gun battles that wiped out almost entire neighborhoods. But in real life, Thompson was just barely selling. 15,000 Thompsons had been made in 1921, and Auto Ordnance didn't sell through that stock until World War II was heating up almost 2 decades later. So let's get back to the 20s, when movies were defined by the Tommy gun, and real life was defined by prohibition. An entire decade of the federal government doubling down on bad laws to hurt private citizens and help criminals.
Not a question whether or not it's a harmless freak. It may very well be that it's against the law generally. As we are going to enforce the law, we must enforce by example.
The war on booze helped criminals like Al Capone get so incredibly wealthy that his booze could actually afford Thompson submachine guns. And some of his gang definitely used them to commit crimes. Incredibly infamous crimes like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre
April of 1934, FDR's Attorney General brought the National Firearms Act before Congress and urged its immediate passage. It was a drastic bill to prohibit criminals from having or using dangerous guns. But of course, it was just a bunch of red tape, oversight, and taxes that criminals would ignore, officials would misuse, and regular citizens would fear. For context, FDR's administration was creating government agencies right and left at this point and radically expanding the scope and authority of existing agencies, especially the Department of Justice. His Attorney General, Homer Cummings, had this gigantic vision for transforming the entire federal government. Unfortunately, he was not able to get everything on his 12-point program accomplished, but his National Firearm Act did pass, and it added regulations to machine guns, sawed-off shotguns, short-barrel rifles, and silencers. It's a very short bill, but discussion of that in the Congressional Committee is very interesting. And I'm linking to the transcript below so you can read it for yourself. It actually sounds really good. There's 4 points in particular that remind me of modern gun control efforts. First, a false sense of urgency driven by media misinformation and horrific French cases. In this case, the murders committed by Barrow Gang and the Dillinger Gang. In 1934, those gangs had already committed murder and are actively being hunted by lawmen that have shoot-to-kill orders.
There is only one way to deal with such men, and that is hunt them down.
This bill to make them more criminal had no effect on those cases whatsoever. Even if it had been passed years before, it still would have had no effect. Since Dillinger stole his Thompson submachine guns from the police station, and Barrow stole his Browning automatic rifles from the National Guard Army. But because those gangs were in the papers in spring, new gun laws had to be pushed in the spring. And that resulted in some very hastily constructed legislation that was being very, very rushed at the time. Which brings me to the second. Legislation which is enacted by technically ignorant legislators. The original bill, as brought by the Department of Justice, is a train wreck of firearm ignorance. For example, the bill's original definition of a machine gun is any gun that is fully automatic or semi-automatic and can hold more than 12 rounds. That's every gun on the table except for this one. None of the legislators questioned that language at all, but fortunately there were a few experts there to give testimony, and they caught some of those things. Now, to be fair, some of those legislators were born during the Civil War, but today's politicians have no excuse for not understanding basic 20th century weapons technology.
Is that, well, if you're going to fire a lot of bullets very quickly, that's a good place to start, okay? And then you're going to apply it. Okay, let's say 3.
This right here has ability 30 caliber clip. You disperse 30 bullets in half a second.
It's specific. You have to pull the trigger each time. An assault weapon, you basically hold for the program.
Now, those are fully automatic. The third thing the bill does is it removes rights on false pretenses and unproven associations. For example, the Attorney General estimates that there are 500,000 armed criminals in the U.S., which, I don't know, maybe that was a good guess. But he does so while talking about the Thompson submachine gun, and he implies that the gangsters are predominantly armed with Thompson submachine guns. Then he talks at length about how incredibly prevalent machine guns are among this vast criminal group. And then he points out that only one company actually makes machine guns, and there haven't been very many sales, so it's not going to inconvenience very many voters, citizens, to do research. Also, this bill groups weapons together with no good definitions or reasons. For example, because some gangsters have murdered each other with sawed-off shotguns, the Department of Justice assumes that short-barrel rifles are equally likely to be crimes. And because short shotguns have been used in crimes, they can't have legitimate business. Which reminds me, we were talking about silencers. The legislators do not talk about silencers at all. There is no justification for putting silencers on the list whatsoever. Now, I'd always read that the reason for silencer restrictions was poaching. During the Great Depression, people were literally starving, and so presumably the amount of out-of-season hunting had gone up. So it's generally accepted today that silencers were added to the NFA to stop poor folks from eating the things here. The Congress never discusses this at all. In fact, the only time they even mention silencers is when they read the part of the bill that mentions restricted silencers. The Department of Justice does not talk about how they've been used in crimes or how they work or what they do or what they might do or anything. It's just assumed that they should be lumped in with everything else and banned. Not banned, of course, just regulated. Because the fourth thing that this bill does is sidestep the Constitution and the Second Amendment with some sketchy movements. This the legislators did discuss, and the Attorney General admitted when pressed that a gun ban would be absolutely unconstitutional. This is not ban. This is just regulation. All you have to do is send in all your personal information, 2 sets of photos, and fingerprints, get written permission from which you can put this on your shirt, wait for the federal government to add your purchase to a large, massive, permanent gun database, and then, of course, buy that $200 tax credit. Now, it should be noted that the justification for that $200 tax is that the Thompson costs $200. That number is set by the worst selling, most expensive, most statistically irrelevant gun on the market. Because machine guns. And remember that in 1934, that $200 is about $3,870 in 2019. This was not some small thing to help the feds pay for this national gun registry, but a gigantic barrier to entry. A deliberately huge obstacle for anybody wanting any of the items on the NFA list. This is the very middle of the Great Depression. The Department of Justice has the audacity to suggest that a $200 tax on a $20 shotgun, that's a 1,000% tax, somehow is not going to infringe on anybody's rights to keep their arms. Somehow a tax amounting to nearly a month's wages is not going to prevent law-abiding citizens from buying the tools that they need to defend themselves from, 500,000 gangsters. Ironically, the gangsters that started this machine gun panic, which produced this bill, were some of the very few Americans who could actually afford to pay this tax. One Tommy gun plus one tax stamp was about the cost of a brand new car, which was nothing without phone.
And because you got nothing, you don't got a thing. You got nothing. Nothing.
And remember, this tax is supposed to be levied to prevent criminals from getting hurt. Because if the Department of Justice has learned anything from the poem, it's that gangsters are really, really good at following tax laws.
Try to murder for not paying his taxes?
Well, it's better than nothing. But it's actually much worse. The original version of the National Firearms Act was written to regulate all handguns with the exact same restrictions as machine guns. At this point in the discussion, this tax is not just for incredibly rare weapons. It is for every single firearm on the market that is not a long-barreled rifle or a long-barreled shotgun. We're talking about a $200 tax for a $5 revolt. Unfortunately, that was a bridge too far for many of the legislators. They can see that this gigantic tax was ridiculously restricted to the average voter and citizen. And the idea of keeping people from getting the most common and most useful self-defense weapons, especially during a crime wave, would cost them a lot of votes, and possibly citizens. So they removed handguns from the list, but everything else stayed. In June of 1934, the NFA became law because of machine guns.
Look at that Thompson social.
Fast forward 85 years until today. The NFA is still on the books with a few minor changes over the decades, and it has definitely discouraged law-abiding citizens from buying the items that are on the list. But less so over time, since the American dollar has been significantly devalued. Today, that $200 tax stamp is only $200 in 2019. Adding that to a $400 suppressor is a little less financially debilitating. And so, ATF reports show that the purchases and registration of silencers has been on a pretty rapid increase over the last decade. I'm guessing there's at least 1.5 million NFA registered suppressors on the books at the moment. For context, that means that there's more cans in America than electric cars. And they're louder, and they kill people. The ATF has pursued an average of 44 silencer crimes per year for the last decade, and most of those are registration violations, not shootings. Even if all of those alleged crimes have been convictions, which the majority haven't been, and even if they all involve an NFA registered silencer, which the majority don't, the conviction rate for silencer crimes will still be 0.003%. For context, 10 of our last 955 federal legislators have been convicted of felonies. So that's a conviction rate of almost 1%. Silencer owners are one of the most law-abiding demographics in the world, and silencers themselves are almost never involved in crimes. Even if they have noticed this, and in early 2017, the Associate Deputy Director Ronald Turk urged Congress to deregulate silencers because they incur a considerable amount of paperwork and are, quote, very rarely used in criminal shootings, unquote. Republican legislators prepared the Arena Protection Act to deregulate them, but then, in late 2017, a gunman murdered 15 people on the Vegas Strip, and the Republicans suddenly pretended like they never heard of the Arena Protection Act. The shooter did not own or use a silencer, but that was still the end of the discussion on deregulating suppressors. Now, just a few weeks ago, this Reynolds City employee murdered 12 of his colleagues in their Virginia Beach building. Details on this shooting and the shooter are extremely sparse, but he allegedly had a silencer on one of his two guns. The official DPF report has not mentioned it, but the local police chief did. If there was a silencer, it was already banned in an entire city, also in that building. But never mind. Bob Menendez, the senior senator from New Jersey, has already introduced a bill that would ban suppressors nationwide. Oh, by the way, Bob Menendez is not one of the felons. I don't mean to imply that at all. The Department of Justice has dropped all the charges of fraud and bribery to prove indictment. So, not a criminal, he can keep making laws. Let's just focus on his bill. It's not a regulatory bill. It's an actual ban. Plus a giant tax bill to cover the buyback and confiscation of almost all of those 1.5 million legally registered suppressors. I think cops and former cops could probably keep theirs, but it's not a very well thought out or well written bill. It's just being pushed fast and hard right now while Virginia Beach is still in flames. And remember how 1920s Hollywood made America believe that gangsters and G-men were just constantly shooting up neighborhoods with their infinite Tommy guns? Modern Hollywood has made America believe that silencers are silent, perfect for stealthy shooting in public places.
For public place, we need silencer.
Man. According to the movie, silencers are so stealthy that you can have a full-on gunfight in a crowd without anybody even noticing. In reality, guns are really, really loud, and suppressors only bring them down to really loud. Out of all these very effective cans, this right here is the only one that I would ever use without hearing protection. That's 22 long run. It's already pretty quiet without the can because there is so little propellant inside of this bullet. It's the classic assassin gun, but I only use it for assassinating rabbits. Everything else on this table is really loud, like jackhammer loud. And a jackhammer is not exactly a good stealth sneaky assassin weapon. Also, when the can captures most of the blast, it also captures most of the heat. And it gets very, very hot very fast. Hot enough to scorch and burn, which is not great for an assassin on the move. Ultimately, very few gun crimes actually benefit from being slightly quieter, as demonstrated by the fact that silencer crime is so incredibly rare. Don't tell me about this, but DIY silencers are cheaper and easier to get than even Hollywood movies, and criminals still almost never use them. I guess legislators would rather watch movies than read crime reports, and Hollywood has made the silencer a magical tool of movie murderers for decades.
Hey, Harry! Look at this! What's the matter with these cans? These cans are defective!
Doesn't matter what the actual statistics are. Doesn't matter what reality is. Doesn't matter if the deputy director of the DPF recommended deregulating silencers. One single event with an alleged suppressor and validate hundreds of fictional stereotypes and create a national emergency.
There's been another massive hit, which is the shooting of science. What is your view of science? Would you like to see those back?
Well, I'd like to think about it. I mean, nobody's talking about silences when they talk about the buck stop and they had it banned.
President Trump's administration has already stopped the Supreme Court from considering an important case on suppressor ownership. Keller versus the United States had been appealed to the Supreme Court and was on its way to being heard this month, when the Department of Justice sent a letter making the case that the Second Amendment does not protect silencers. So going to hear it.
I want to talk about this again.
The reasons were primarily two preceding cases, United States versus Miller and District of Columbia versus Heller. U.S. Miller was a 1939 case involving short-barreled shotguns. The Supreme Court did uphold and affirm the right to keep and bear arms could not be infringed by the government, period. And they further recognized that the entire purpose of the Second Amendment is to make sure that citizens, militias, will have the military arms necessary to resist invasion and tyranny. However, they ruled that it's totally okay to infringe on the ownership of short-barreled shotguns because the Second Amendment only protects military weapons. And since no militaries at the time were using short-barreled shotguns, they're not a military item and thus not protected by the Second Amendment. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but since suppressors are heavily used by many militaries, wouldn't a logical application of U.S. v. Miller mean that suppressors are protected by the Second Amendment? Then there's D.C. versus Heller, which also affirms the Second Amendment, but again states that the Second Amendment does not protect weapons not typically possessed by law-abiding citizens for law-abiding purposes. I don't recall seeing that caveat in the actual Bill of Rights, but anyhow, there's a whole bunch of suppressors possessed by military guys, plus another 1.5 million possessed by law-abiding citizens. And according to the ATF, 99.997% of the time, it's for lawful purposes. How many million suppressors do we the people need to own before they become typical? And with only 44 crimes per year, how are lawful purposes not? And remember, very, very few of those 44 prosecuted crimes are violence crimes. Lots of them are just bad guy caught with unregistered silencer, or in the case of Keller versus U.S., good guy arrested with unregistered silencer after paperwork is searched. Big trouble. Up to 15 years in prison trouble. How many of these alleged 44 crimes per year are paperwork mistakes that get good guys thrown in prison? We don't know, but we know that when it does happen, it's because 85 years ago, the Department of Justice added suppressors to the NFA with no justification whatsoever. And today, the fact that the NFA still gets innocent men classified as criminals is cited as a justification to keep it on the books. Does that sound familiar?
Not a question. Whether or not it's a harmless drink, it may very well be, but it's against the law, gentlemen.
Most of its silencers are crimes in the same way that Prohibition suddenly defined about 50% of Americans as criminals. At least the government recognized that Prohibition had been a mistake. After 13 years. 13 years of increased drinking, increased murder, increased taxes, skyrocketing corruption, incredible hypocrisy, and oh yeah, 10,000 deaths caused by deliberate federal poison chemicals.
You go, Chicago? Was it wonderful? No.
So Prohibition was the NFA, on the other hand, apparently cannot be rescinded or even questioned by the courts. Because regardless of reality, politicians just don't like cannabis.
I don't like the idea of it. I don't like the idea of what's happening.
But why do our politicians hell-bent on demonizing silencers right now? I think H.L. Mencken figured it out. He lived through the 1920s and he had a front row seat to the entire Prohibition debacle. And he wrote that the entire aim of practical politics is to keep the populace alarmed and hence clamorous to be led to safety by menacing it with an endless series of hobgoblins, all of them imaginary.
That's just some interesting.
Now let's be honest, suppressors can make criminals more deadly. There absolutely are certain situations in which a slightly quieter weapon would be the murderer in advantage. And putting a can on a firearm reduces the recoil and makes the weapon more comfortable to shoot. It makes the gun more controllable, which criminals would benefit from, but only because everybody benefits from this. My SWAT say if breach housing explosives and then they run in with their suppressed weapons, the cans are not for stealth. They make it easier for the cops to control their weapons, use them safely, maintain situational awareness in those enclosed spaces or darkness, and communicate with each other better and just be more effective in their work. It's not just about flight. And if you want quiet, there's already a perfectly legal, silent projectile weapon that's been killing people for thousands of years. There's a whole bunch of upside to letting private citizens have suppressors. In a home defense situation, I want some of the same advantages that the SWAT guys want. And when you're on the range, they're great. They're not hearing safe, but they're far less damaging. I have to wear hearing protection to shoot these, but the people sitting over there don't have to. And things are much quieter for the neighbors. This thing even captures a bunch of carbon fiber and lead so that it can be disposed of properly. Everybody benefits. And there's a lot of upsides to letting private companies develop suppressors for a wider market. This is the CGS Silent, a 22 suppressor that is made out of carbon fiber with aluminum baffles. This is a very specialized new carbon weave and resin that makes it incredibly light, and it handles heat incredibly well. Also, it doesn't have the same resonance as a metallic can, which is cool. It's only in the last few years that the market for cans has grown enough to support some new R&D, like 3D printers making things out of titanium, or new materials from the aerospace industry like Inconel. But it's happening in very small and very slow steps, partly because the market is forcibly kept small, and partly because it takes so incredibly long to actually get and fill the can. Would you buy a cutting-edge piece of tech like this if you knew it could happen for 6 months or a year? Just wait for you. The NFA tax and the PATF waiting lists put a big damper on research and development. It could benefit not just suppressors, but it could help bring new manufacturing technologies and new material sciences to a whole bunch of new areas. Scientific progress and technical achievement are always driven by cross-pollinization and overlap. When someone takes a piece of tech from one area and brings it over to another area or to a wider market, or mixes two dimensions together. Remember, the original Maxim silencer was invented in conjunction with car mufflers, and Maxim's research on these two separate products benefited each other. And this is the Maxim 9. It's a silencer co-product, which is a pistol and suppressor that have been designed around one another. This is a very interesting platform. It could be the stepping stone to the handgun of the pistol, but it was also an incredibly expensive and risky move, and at this point, it's just as likely to kill Silencer Co. as the company. The small businesses that make cans today have gone out on a limb to bring innovations to this 100-year-old invention, and it's frustrating to have all of this experimentation, high-tech materials, complete dynamic innovations just be artificially limited by completely arbitrary rules and regulations. But the real impact of these arbitrary rules is far more sinister. When politicians debate silencers and they do this hypothetical cost-benefit analysis where an unknown percentage of criminals have slightly quieter weapons, there's not enough weight, an unknown percentage of gun owners that have hearing loss, that completely misses the point. This conflict or argument is not about imaginary assassins having magic weapons versus firearm hobbyists having fun toys. It's about control. Before you say, think of the children, let me tell you, I'm not making this video because I just got a suppressor. I'm making this video because my wife and I just had our third child. We only had to wait 9 months, which is faster than a lot of PATF paperwork. But we are very much thinking about our children and about protecting our children's future. The real cost-benefit analysis is this. Do we want our kids to live in a world where criminals might find it easier to obtain suppressors, or in a world where the government will arbitrarily punish law-abiding citizens for having them? Where our representatives increase the power of the state and decrease the power of their constituents on a whim? Where freedoms get randomly and erratically banned because politicians just personally don't like them?
It's already been decided in Washington.
And remember that we're not talking about accessory, specifically the accessory that's been used in fewer crimes than any other firearm accessory in the history of gunpowder. We're talking about banning the accessory that offers the least useful benefit to violent criminals and a significant health benefit to lawful users. We're talking about a ban that will inconvenience the most law-abiding group of people in the country and have no effect on actual murderers whatsoever. And more importantly, though this potential ban and the current NFA restrictions set a bad legal precedent, these restrictions do significant damage to our nation's attitude toward the Second Amendment. In adherence on, we agree with the underlying presupposition of U.S. versus Miller. The Second Amendment is all about giving military capacity to individual private citizens. We agree with our nation's founders who firmly believe that all men are endowed by their Creator with rights and responsibilities. The right to self-defense is undeniable. The responsibility to protect yourself, your family, and your country is non-negotiable.
Patriot must always be ready to defend this country against its government.
Now this little metal tube doesn't actually have a very big effect on the protection of the nation. But laws that ban this little metal tube sure do. In 1934, Congress was very cautious about violating the Second Amendment, and they looked for an end run around it. Today, its members are perfectly willing to throw out the entire Bill of Rights that they have sworn to uphold. We need to hold them to their oaths of office. The good news is that it's not the 20s anymore. It's not the 1920s anymore. We don't have to be educated by Hollywood anymore. We don't have to wait for the newspapers to tell us what's going on. We don't have to let our elected officials tell us what to think. We have more access to data, more access to truth, and a greater ability to proclaim the truth, even in long, boring videos like this one. We need to push back against lies, poisonings, and traitors, and we have to push back against efforts to hobble, cripple, and diminish the power and freedom of the nation. Otherwise, it will be the 1920s. The worst parts of the 1920s, all over.
Year end of election.
Alright, that's been podcast forever. This video focused on the legal and historical side of suppressors, but keep an eye out for a future video where we're going to talk about more practical stuff.
Yeah, the one thing that we'd like to do is produce a video or video series showing every 5.56 scan, or at least the debated ones on the market, talking about the most devices as well. So we're going to be purchasing those, testing them, shooting a lot of rounds, and not just shooting them for one day, but actually running through the cases, thousands of rounds, and doing some proper testing, at least better testing, better reviews of those cans, and then talking about some of the other things, considerations for suppressors as well. So that's what the future.
Absolutely. Keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching.
Deadliest weapon on the battlefield. The sniper.
they're done. So the Browns, they sell catalogs. The Browns you can buy at the gas station for the Browns we're going to be testing some exotic shotguns. Small Browns that you can buy that are suspect, as well as rounds that you can, in theory, make to see how effective these are. Do they hold up to the claims? Can Jane shot with an airplane fire a cannon? Are they going to ground? Yeah. And good idea. Serve domain farms. They're good enough. Most exotic shotguns tested and open. But before we get into that, we have portions of the channel. There's no mic yet.
Firearms, right here with many optics and skills that you maybe it's a retro sale this month. You can buy any optic plus people.
You cannot buy people. Of course, look at the night vision. What do you have?
Night vision network, see in the dark, meaning loving when you speak up on them. Just me.
If you look at the bright night vision, whenever you need, go check out network. If you want to go explore, you basically buddy explores. If you're looking to be better at shooting, you need to do one power spray man, just with dry fire. For 30 minutes with dry fire machine. We recommend the corresponding machine sponsored by AAC. However, they don't get these free rounds, and they don't actually work. A lot of our solutions are very nice. All that said, shooting is cheap. I think the cameras are really, really expensive. We're doing it different. So we're spending our V-Bucks wisely. $1,000. We have a couple of rounds that we're going to be trying out here. I tried to find the dumbest rounds possible. We can agree that they're pretty dumb.
Yeah, they have the worst name for that.
Okay, first one. Loaded slug. Pretty self-explanatory. What's the back say?
There you go. Close load is open for the hunter that doesn't want to try again, yada yada, instant decapitation,
Like a slug that do that.
so Tennessee, Missouri, Iowa, probably one of the New York, Florida, a lot.
Non-lethal. Non-lethal.
Yeah, so very unsafe states. Half of these are communists and half of them lost their civil war.
So I think these are good yearly things for the Jets.
Fun shots, fun fact, are the best shotgun round in Clark.
Very true. They're also really good battlefield. So these are things to think about. I'm really interested if these are going to stay together. That's why these are the shit. So these little needles, essentially like little darts, a bunch of yeah, I've seen those that like barely anything deadly. And the question you might have is, like, how can you actually test these to know if these are doing anything good? Right here, you have Phantom cameras that can film at over 8 million frames per second. These cameras will be able to capture rounds in flight, see precision. You'll be able to see the precise wind channels as it travels through Charlie's body, and we'll see how the distance is jump. And we'll be able to see how well they're performing. So we're really excited to have these cameras out here to be able to test these to the fullest. Thank you. All right, Joe.
This one is very World of Warcraft.
Like ball and chain.
Armor Piercing Firestorm.
Armor piercing slug still has business, but still has power. The horsepower, is that the correct term? This has horsepower. Take care of business on the other side. Body armor won't help a suspect with this round.
They're making mistakes.
Are these they sound like they didn't have standards. Okay, this doesn't seem real. So this is illegal in these states. And I just don't feel like that's true. I feel like they just say that. Because that actually brings me to this, which is Florida legal ball and chain. Nothing says I love you like a 6-inch wide true. I'm not joking. I know why. Some folks call these boho rounds. They contain 250-pounder footballs connected by 6-inch, 7-strand braided Kevlar cable. While the cable keeps the balls close together tight. Someone has an awesome job. So I was part about shotgun. It's really, if you can fit into the shell, they get box. They've been busy ships. So we also have point shot. Allegedly, U.S. currency dimes. Factory loading. That means it from factory. I guess that is a good start.
to see if these rounds actually fire. We have a main comp, 8 seconds to 10 peasants out. These barrels should be able to keep up these rounds. Yeah. Charles has to go to the dentist, which is funny because Chief's still fucked up. So, yeah, fuck you guys. So, very fast camera is going to be monochrome, black and white, and our less fast camera is in color, living color, so you can see all the slow down. So, now we have our favorite employee of Hubbard Research, Kim Selman. What do you want to say about the ball and chain round, the first one that we tested?
I'm really excited about this. I think this would have made a big difference in like pirate-oriented.
Yeah, like CFPs. Yeah, everybody CFPs. Yes, CFPs. That's good. Alright, we're going to shoot the ball right now. We're going to see what it looks like next to the barrel. See how they can sit together? Or is it flat hard to kill someone we don't want them to kill? And then we're going to shoot the close to kill.
I shot for a lot of the same things. That's why I like paints. You know, I check out from the same banks of credit. Things are
Same cards. Ready to go right here. Same confidence. Attack. Zero replay. I actually didn't think that the ball around the ball and chain would sit. I just didn't. You know, because it's sitting there. Engineer. It's in Kirby. Yeah. Yeah. Just like Herman Schreiber. See, just Herman. That don't make any sense. So first off, the coolest shot we've got in the brain. Like I say, right now, just use buckshot. So, these rounds, this is a lot. It's a huge wood cavity, but there's two of them. It's the same performance from double lock buckshot or single lock buckshot. It's cool. It's a pivot round. It was cool on the exit with two Kevlar red still matched. So, if I'm playing it came up for long, you've got a perfectly placed headshot in front of you. Like, I think I don't think so. What enough to try to you have done. We'll try that at the end. Next up, we have the exploding slug. This exploding again doing a sulfur ball sized shot group. I don't really have it. I'm not having good faith in their players at this point. They don't even speak English. It picks them. Much not. It picks them. It's not the most fun. Okay. Slugs used to be violent. Exploding slugs. You saw the blast. It was like the tiny like it's better served taking the explosive charge out and just filling it with more weight. Yeah, it's actually useless. Next up we have Farmer Peter's Firestorm. What does that mean to you right there? Nothing. It just means that it's probably moving like the other. Wow, gimmick. We have Gold 6 level 3A. We also have level 4 in case very unlikely there's 3. And then we'll have Joe behind us to see what it does once we go through the Firestorm. Okay, Farmer Peter's Firestorm. Ready? Ready? Oh,
Soft, baby. Robert kicks ass. That's what there's a firestorm. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike.
Fire at home.
The picture shows. We got the firestorm very exploding. So, keep the brick on. You'll not go outside. You'll not go sit down. So this is right. There's a 3 block feet in the house. Quick shot.
wrong? Probably is wrong. I thought it was going to be the most underwhelming thing ever. The other, it was definitely one of the most fun. Oh my, it's a slotted dime. All the burrito. Those are huge. The factory load is the, apparently the cheapest way of doing change out. That was extremely devastating violence. We expected that they take such force that it actually dragged the air back to the That's smart. Yeah, it was crazy. Well, that was really effective. Next up is going to be another factory jump round. Because it's just, factory or whatever. Well, according to the factory, it's screws, nuts, bolts. I can doubt it, but there's just deep into that stuff to get shot with. That worked. You get like how you go out to the end. You're like focusing towards 2-5 minutes. Next up we have Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath was made popular because of John Wick. I guess the question's gonna be what will we do first?
dial up your day.
My 2006 Charger Hellcat may have made it back here to Chicago, but that doesn't mean this thing is without a bunch of issues.
Now, sure, it's got little stuff in the parking sensor that we ain't great about.
For big